No sound. Yes, we are finally live, I think. Just let me check. Yes, we are finally connected.
Wonderful.
So, good evening, everyone. It's a great honor to pleasure to welcome you all, Global Leaders Talk, a platform where leaders from different parts of the world comes together to share insights and experience and perspectives that the influence the direction of our global community and youth society. A word can it break you? A word can break a heart. A word can heal a soul. So have you noticed this previously? Because how just one sentence can change your entire life, entire mood. So, dear audience, today we are going to talk about a very simple and important topic: why medicine is important and why language is medicine. This is the complicated to define. So, it's very important in our daily life. We know that very well. We use languages, yeah, but all the time. But we are so much people do not understand how to speak other people and how to motivate other people. And language is a connection, emotion, and healing. That's why we say language is medicine. So this inspiration session is proudly presented by Tushar Associate, an organization so much committed to development, communication, confidence building, and language training. Because a great leader and great trainer can shape a great mindset to the people. So that's why in here our organizations, and also I'm very confident that the insight shared by our guest will all of us. So today we are privileged to welcome our outstanding speaker who are already making an impact, confidence building, language training around the world. So without further, I want to inviting you, uh, who has the Maxwell Certified Trainer and bestseller author, Hadas Roast. Please welcome this podcast.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much. And before we continue, I request watching this live and drop your country's name and where you are connected from this part. So without wasting our time, and we want to dive into the discussion. So Hadas, you are also a bestseller and different parts, and also you are doing very well around the world for sales, leadership, communication, and presentation, and also languages. So my first question is very simple. Your company is literally said language is medicine, yes? So that have brought an very beautiful statement. And can you take us the moment that inspired the name, and was there a specific person, word spoken, and made the realize language is power to heal?
Wonderful. Yes. Great question. I'm connecting with you from the US in Claremont, Florida. I just moved here from Denver last week. So it's very new for me too. I'm having an amazing time. It's very beautiful and sunny and humid here. I have been in 7 different states in 2 different countries with my job, and I am a medically based speech language pathologist. So I work predominantly with people with communication disorders, swallowing disorders, neurodegenerative disorders, and any cognitive disorders that would result from those kinds of diagnoses. Any kind of diagnoses that would lead to any kind of cognitive communication disorder. And through my work as a rehabilitation therapist, I have been able to extract things that would stop people from gaining the achievement and the goal achievement and the performance that they're wanting. I was in Texas and I was seeing a man who was debilitated after having aspiration pneumonia. He inhaled something, and as he inhaled something, it turned into pneumonia in his lungs, and he was just debilitated. He's weak, he was unable to participate in life, and he was on a puree diet, all of these things. His wife was also in the facility, so he's maximally depressed. I couldn't just go into his room and say, let's do some exercise, because he wasn't motivated to do that. And it would have been just non-compassionate for me to do that. So when I went
Yes.
into his room, I took in markers and pens and scissors and I wrote down words of the stories that he told me, of these prompts that I gave him about his life and his love for his life and the people in his life and all of his achievements and performance and things like this. So I made a collage, a word collage in front of him in this space that he had nothing. There was a TV and then a blank space, and in that blank space that he would stare every day, this word collage was. And within days, he was able to get back up, start moving, be motivated to do some things for himself, start doing other therapies that allowed him to do aspiration pneumonia training, because there's breathing training that needs to happen, and then higher levels of diet textures and trials and things like this. And in order to get those, we need the body to be strong. So he started doing these things. And our final day, when I discharged him, he wanted ice cream. So I said, let me get ice cream. We'll talk about your therapy. And he told me that the word collage was the turning point for him. That was my first true inkling of how powerful language was, and how much I was using language in the wrong way, and how most of us are using language in the wrong way.
Yeah, it's a really fantastic experience that's inspired to choose this language as medicine and select this language as medicine in your organization. It's really because we know that very well. When you will learn into different languages, different scales, that automatics open the door different countries, different peoples. Yeah, so medicine is important, but communication is most important, because if you don't speak, you didn't get any chance for around the world, and no one give you chance if you don't
Right.
speak.
And
Yes.
there's this dichotomy in language use. There's no in between. You're either destroying something or building something. And when I work with my patients, they're in places where they are broken, they're hurt, they're sad, they're depressed. So, am I going in there reinforcing all those things, or am I going in there with a desire to build them up so that they can achieve that wellness that they're looking for? Most of our lives, if you can think back to the earliest memories that you have, it could be of someone speaking so negatively to you, right? It's like, you know, that person, you
Right.
know what it felt like, you can go back there, you can smell it, you can feel it, you can see it, you can experience everything that you did experience in those places. And it was like a trauma experience, because that became the underlying building point, like the first step of how the internal language was built. So, yeah, we want to go back to those places, to where that template was destroyed, and build ourselves in those places, meet ourselves in those places, so that instead of looking for resilience from people outside of us, we're now building that inner resilience through the language that we're using in our mind, that's connected to our heart. We want our mind and our heart to be connected. So if we can do that, we can truly use language as medicine.
Absolutely, absolutely, it's 100% truth, because sometimes we realize that, Tushar, if you don't speak, who will understand your silence? And if you don't speak, it's truly no one can show them the right direction if you don't speak. For example, in today's Hadas in here, our podcast, why? Because I'm inviting them, I'm speaking, and also I know how to convince and how to speaking other people. That's why you are here. That's why in today's podcast. So yeah, that's really great and awesome. So my next question is very simple. Parents, teachers, and managers, you know that they are all the shape the languages, environment of the people around them. Yeah. So what is the single biggest mistake they make that uh, limits of the growth and confidence of the people, they are far responsible. What do you think?
This is another really great question because it turns the focus towards oneself and it says, how am I impacting with how I communicate? How do I impact those outside of me, and how are they improving, or how are they being sustained in a lack of growth process or in a growth process? And how am I contributing to that? How am I contributing to someone's growth? Parents, leaders, managers, owners, if you are someone who has the ability to work with other people, we it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to look at how what we say impacts someone's performance, ability to lead, ability to love, ability to be inspired, to exercise passion, to develop who they are. We seldom realize that the things that we say are templates. They are patterns of mm, like what I see is like a it's a step. So we can either build that first step to believe that that child or that business owner or that partner or our employees can listen to that and do better the next thing that they do, or they sustain that same level of pain or sadness or defeat or failure. So we have a choice in that moment to truly be able to connect to someone's pain, because when someone is not performing, whether it's a child or an employee or a partner or whoever it is, when someone's not performing, there's something stopping them from performing. And what is that? So, as a leader and as a parent, as someone who leads others, we want to get to the core of whatever that is so that we can build them in that place. When we build people in that place, we're using words, we're using language, we're supporting the positivity in them while also providing constructive feedback that lets them see areas of improvement and areas that they can develop themselves to get to that next level. So, our biggest, I would say, the biggest failure that we have is not knowing that words stick. They do stick, they stay. And if we're so conscious about how we speak and say, and writing is also a part of that, what we read is also a part of that. So if we're conscious in how we lead in those places, we are able to impact and inspire greater than we are destroying and breaking down. Now, some people think that children need to be broken down, and the reality is that they're blank slates. They have nothing in them. So what we teach them is what they will do later in life, and we need to have a responsibility for that. And so radical accountability for what comes out of our mouth, radical responsibility for what we think and how we communicate that, so that we're not impacting people in a negative way, but we're truly impacting people through an inspiration and through a development mindset that allows people to flourish even in moments of failure.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I added some story, you know that very well. If I say my son or brother or father, why do you lie? Why do you lie? But if I use this word, if you speak lie, God will destroy you. So please never try. Just one word can change their emotion, their thinking, their words. So word sense to meaning sense to feeling sense, and feeling sense to life sense. So change your word, your life will, feeling will be changed. So feeling will be changed, life will be changed. So change your word.
Right. And our
Yeah.
impact changes in that same way. So I saw, when I was doing a presentation many years ago, I remember finding this image that said it was a child with words as hands around the neck. and there's so many words, and it looked like hands around the neck, and we can choke people with words. We can create areas of pain in children with how we speak to them, because how we speak to them is what they think inside of their minds. And so, do we want to have that impact? We need to decide what impact we want to have. Do we want to have an impact that is positive in that child's mind, or in that employee's mind, or in that business partner, or whoever it is, or that marriage partner, whoever it is? Do we want to have that sound in their head? Do we want to be the negative voice in their head, or do we want to be the positive voice in their head? Like, this is the choice. Like, as simply as it is, it's like, this is where we're at, right? Like, we we have a choice, and it's hard to be that conscious all the time, and we fail, we do. But when we go back and we clean up what we did, we take responsibility for it, and we take accountability for it, we can not only create greater connection, but we can heal each other through that repair.
Yeah, you get hurt, not get hurt, you suffer or not suffer. It's your choice. It's totally depend on your communication, your choice. You get hurt, not get hurt, you suffer, not suffer. It's your totally about your choice.
Right.
Yeah.
It's about the inner environment. So what we say is generally in our inner environment, right? Like, we are in that inner environment, and it's going to
Environment
come
is
out.
important. So
Exactly. If you're gonna, I say, if you're gonna squeeze an orange, you're gonna get orange juice, right? So if there's something negative inside of us, it's eventually gonna come out, and we're gonna hear it, and the person in front of us is gonna be impacted by it, and that's our opportunity to change, to see what we did, and how we influence that person, how we hurt that person, how we love that person, and do more of the good, right? Like, that's all
yeah.
we can do. It's just, that's all we can do. Just get better one conversation at a time.
Definitely. So we are totally listening. I have a next question is very simple. So you are also trainer. So I have some questions about this point. So if some people, how can individuals become more mindful of their languages in daily conversations? Because when the practice every single day, they can easily improvement their communication or languages. So this is the point.
Yes, I would plug my book here. Wrote an ebook called The Communication Lab. It's a 50-day experience of experiments that you do every single day to look inside of your own mind and your own patterns of communication that allow you to see how you are communicating in everyday situations. And it is the feedback that I've received from the challenge that I just did with several people is that it just goes deeper and deeper and deeper into who we are, to the essence of who we are, and aligning our true essence with the way we communicate. So communication doesn't change all just right off the bat. It's not like one and done. It's something that needs to be seen every day. So one of the first exercises I tell people to do is use a piece of paper. Take a piece of paper. You have one piece of paper. On one side, you have the positive attributes that you have for yourself. And then the other side are the negative attributes that you have for yourself. We can see ourselves, right? We can see truly who we are, but that piece of paper must stay on one side. So you can have those things, those negative qualities and those constituents regarding ourselves, but you have to choose. You can see the negativity, but you choose the positivity. So that exercise is such a great exercise, because if you are willing to go into those parts of yourself that say, I say these things sometimes, like I say mean things sometimes, I am really nasty to myself sometimes, when things are challenging and disruptive and um difficult, something else comes out of me, right? Like, when you're driving, it's a whole new experience. You're like, what is happening?
Yeah,
Like. So
absolutely.
exactly. So we have an awareness that there's two sides to us, but now we see it on a piece of paper, and when we can see it, it's tangible, and it says, I'm going to do better at choosing this positive version of myself. And the parts of myself that are in that darkness, in that pain, in that depression, in that destruction, I'm going to use that positive version of myself to feed the negative version of myself. That's one of the first exercises that I give to my clients. And yeah,
Yeah.
get the book. The book is amazing. It's such an amazing book. 50-day experiment for every day for 50 days, getting into nuances of our own communication, because only we can change ourselves. That's it. Like we get information, and when we have that access to our own self through that accountability, we reveal it to ourselves. It's so much more impactful than when someone else reveals it to us. So that's what that book is designed to do.
Yeah, that's a really great practice for your daily journey, daily conversations. For take your papers, one slide, make a positive and next a negative. You can practice every single day. So that can help you your beginning conversational journey. And if you need any more information, you can feel for take the PDF ebooks that can help you more information. So yeah, it's a totally Hardus, we are totally last moment in this podcast. So my last question is very simple. So if you could give one message to our audience about the power of words, what would be? It's just so complicated.
It's not complicated. It's profound, because they're the only thing in the world that creates is words. We think in images, and then those images turn into words, and then those words create life. They create things outside of us. They create blueprints. They create the next thing. So the most profound part about language and communication is the question that we ask ourselves: what am I creating? What am I creating? What am I choosing to create from this utterance right now? And if we can get to that place where we're pinpointing what we are creating through that utterance, and get so conscious about the choices we make when we speak, and not speaking on autopilot, but truly speaking from a place of creation, we have an opportunity to change worlds, change relationships, change connection with others. The secondary part of that, the most profound skill in communication, is not speaking itself. It's being able to listen inherently, so that we can hear ourselves and the other person at the same time. So that when we do speak, it is an impact that not only supports people and ourselves in performance, achievement, connection, repair, but we're preventing and we're protecting our connection with one another, so as to build each other up instead of destroy one another.
That's great. And if I mention again the one word, words, the power of words. Yeah. So we are saying every single day. We are talking in front of other people, from my family, father, brother, son, children, everyone, in my job sector, business sector, colleague, everywhere. But unfortunately, we are not aware about this part. Why, I don't know. But sometimes I realize that, what is this? Because every single day we need to speak. We have to speak. There is no alternative way. Yes. But unfortunately, we are not about our languages. And how I can explain this word? Ah, but unfortunately, it's very important. You were already say. So if I mention and against this part, for you have to choice first things, and you have to practice every single day. And when you will speak in front of other people, you will get a lot of opportunities around the world, not only for your personal but also your professional part. So yeah, thank you so much. Thus, we are learned from you a lot of things that will be direction of our global communities and also younger generation. So thank you so much for such a wonderful, amazing share for insights valuable. So, and thank you so much for our audience for staying within us. And remember, language is not just only way to communicate; it's a way to heal. It's a way to
Amen.
heal.
Yes, exactly.
The word we use ever they can. And this point, build or break someone confidence, heal emotion, wonder, and they created them. And this is the strength of the damaged relationship. It can also damage the relationship. You already mentioned this part, yeah? And also inspire growth, the create and fear. So that's why this is language is medicine. There is no alternative way if you stay around the world, if you survive in the world. So thank you so much again for stay connected with us. See you soon on the next podcast. Stay connected with us. And if you have any question or if you know any information, you can feel for text and comment section. We'll get answer from our guest. So we are totally lost. Our Alamin Hussain there sings the nice, and Chad Akhtar said the moms, and Shine Alam greats. Yeah, Shine Alam said, Inshallah, I will stay from the beginning to end to sessions. Yeah, that's all. Thank you so much for connecting with us, and we will come back as soon as possible. The next session, next podcast. Thank you so much, Hadis, for connecting with us and sharing inside valuable information that can directly change our personal and professional life. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. And if anyone wants to connect with me further, they can email me at contact@hadassarose.com or go to my Facebook page. There's a stand store there. You can get my book there too.
Thank you so much. And also Victor Hernandez, he is from another countries, emerging trust. Thank you so much for your attention and for this connections.